Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Sunday early evening episode of Ted's Booze Cellar with me, your most gracious host, Ted. Welcome to the premiere alcohol review show here on YouTube. It is currently 6:42, about to turn 6:43 on the 20th of August 2023. I must say this year has gone by really fast, I got to say. And I'm hoping I'm finding you all in a good state of affairs, and if I'm not, then I hope things improve for you very promptly. Now, today is a drink of choice that has been recommended by someone I know through someone. So, one of my close friends and colleagues, Lois, her boyfriend Johnny, really likes this show. And I was deeply honoured because he genuinely really enjoys it and watches all the episodes. So I must say I do really appreciate the honest and loyal support. But Lois did say to me that Johnny, similar to me, really likes his sort of dark ale, stouts, porters, that sort of thing. And his absolute favourite is one from our old friends at the Titanic Brewery. Now, I reviewed beer from them a while back, but this particular one I haven't had before, and this is actually Johnny's favourite ever beer, from what I've understood. And this is Titanic Brewery's Plum Porter. Now, I must say, I like the design of the colour and against the contrastingness of the bottle and I think the mixture of purple against black and sort of cream really sits really nicely with that sort of like stylised, simplistic sort of image of the Titanic there. Really simple design, but I really like it. So I think it could do with a bit more character, but I would still give the design of the bottle and the label a decent 8.5 out of 10. It's handsome for sure. And I got these, there was a pack of 8 of these bottles, these half-litre bottles, that you can get on Titanic Brewery's website, not including postal and packaging. A pack of 8 of these on their website is, I think it was $17.95. So, yeah, I think for sort of like big half-litre bottles of beer, 8 of them, that's still not a bad price, actually. Especially considering this is 4.9% alcohol volume, so it's not the weakest either. So yeah, I think that's pretty good value for money. It says on the back here, if you had suggested our best-selling and multi-award winning beer would be dark, fruit-flavoured and 4.9% ABV 3 years ago, we'd have said you were mad. That was before our brewers really understood the dark, fruity arts. So, it seems like this only really popped up in the last 3 years or so, and it's already taken off to such an extent, so well done. But tasting note, well-rounded porter with fruity sweet notes over a backdrop of hoppy flavour, deep red in colour, and surprisingly easy drinking for a full flavoured beer. It's got a eye of deep red, a nose of plum, raisin and fruity, and a taste of soft plum and vanilla. Now, that is kind of what I was hoping for. I was thinking they would say it's probably a bit cherryish as well, but no, I really like the sound of that. Those all sound like flavours that would mix together really well. So it's got a bitterness rating of 1.5 out of 5 and a sweet rating of 3.5 out of 5. So for a porter, this will probably be quite sweet, at least compared to something like the chocolate porter from London Meantime Brewery. But anyway, let's pop this sucker open and give ourselves a good snifter, see what our first impressions are like. What did they say? No, it was plum, raisin and fruity. Definitely getting a bit of the plum and the general fruitiness, yeah. There is a slight after smell of raisiny-ness, but I'm not really getting too much of it. Mainly it's the plum and fruitiness, which is a lovely nose as it is, but I feel like, yeah, it could have been offset a bit more by the raisin after smell there. There is a little bit of it in the after smell, but not a lot, so I'm going to pour some into this glass and give it a bit more of a sort of open air snifter, as you were. And I've got to say, the colour looks really nice. It's a bit more got a bit more fizz to it than I'd expect from a porter, but the colour is really nice. It's sort of like a rich sort of like, it's kind of funny. It's like a cross between like a sort of chocolatey brown and sort of like a auburn red, which is a really nice colour actually. But let's give it a proper snifter. Yes, it feels a lot more balanced in the glass. The plum and sort of like the fruity flavours don't feel quite as concentrated, and you can definitely smell the raisin a little bit more. So really nice, yeah. Let's see, put this in view, and then obviously I think I'll give the nose in the glass probably like a 9 out of 10. It's definitely a little bit nicer. But anyway, quick palate cleanser of water. And then on to the most important part of the video, which is to see what this sucker tastes like. So, to everyone at home, especially Lois and Johnny, bottoms up and have a good week ahead. Not quite sure what to make of this. Texture's lovely, smooth. Not what I'd say creamy, but definitely smooth and sort of like very like juicy and refreshing, like how you'd expect like a fruity drink to be. So the texture's all down perfectly, quite light and crisp for a porter as well. So that's quite interesting. And usually when you get porters that have a light, or craft stouts that have a light texture, they generally tend to be quite watery and horrible. But the texture here actually really complements the flavour really nicely. As for the flavour, the main through line of like plum, with sort of like a slight bitter, vanilla-y aftertaste. That's the main through line of the flavour. So yeah, I can definitely get this plum and vanilla in there. I feel like there's this like little slightly bitter sort of like leaf stem sort of like through line that sort of like adds this slight like earthiness to it that kind of undercuts that sort of mellow sweetness of the plum. So the flavour here is really well balanced, I've got to say. I just feel like, weirdly enough, even though I don't really like sweet porters and sweet beers, for the most part, I mean, obviously I have reviewed some in the past that have been actually really good. Generally speaking, I think the thing that, you know, could help this beer is maybe by having a little bit more sweetness, just to kind of undercut the bitterness a little bit. The main through line of the plum flavour being sort of mellow and sweet, with sort of undercut of like by that slight tint of vanilla at the end. If the flavour was just that, I think it could have been rated a bit higher than what I'm going to rate it. And I also do feel like this beer could have had a bit more sweetness to it, at least in the initial taste, because the initial taste, while it is really nice, it's a tiny bit bitter. Not to the extent that it ruins it for me. I still really like this beer. I will more than gladly go out of my way to get it again. I just feel like there's just some slight tweaks they can make to the flavour, balancing of the flavour. As things currently stand, though, I can still see why this is Johnny's favourite beer, because it is good stuff. Despite what I've said, it's not stuff that ruined it. It's just like little tweaks I would make, about 3 or 4 maybe, throughout the flavour to make it a bit more balanced, a bit more sweet, sort of like slightly sort of like longer sort of finish as well. But generally speaking, it's still really, really, really good. I'm glad I paid the money I did for it, and I think the price is definitely worth the quality. Yeah, I think the quality is the quality is definitely reflective of the price. I'm just trying to pin down a numerical rating, so I'm going to say, because like usually based on those points that I raise, I'll probably take it down to an 8, but I think in terms of its general quality, it is much higher than an 8, so I'll probably give it a... probably say... Well, I'll say an 8.5. Yeah, I was kind of sort of umming and ahhing between an 8.5 and an 8.25. But even though there are a few points that I could improve about this, or that I would suggest improving about this, I think generally speaking it's one that I'd never sort of like be unhappy to drink. So yeah, I'm definitely glad I've bought this, and I definitely think the price is very reflective of the quality of this beer, and I can totally see why other people would really like this. But yeah, no, I'm very glad I tried this, and thank you to Lois and Johnny for the suggestion. This has been really, really nice, actually. I'm sorry if I didn't like it quite as much as you did, and apologies if my rating has been somewhat offensive to your senses, but no, generally I do still think this is really, really good stuff, and I will gladly try this again and go out of my way to buy it again. But don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe, and if you have any suggestions for future episodes of Ted's Booze Cellar, or you had any particular points you may have agreed or disagreed with, leave them in the comments section down below, and I'll leave the links to my social medias in the video description down below as well. But until next time, have fun, stay safe with whatever you're doing, don't do anything I wouldn't do, wash your hands, drink responsibly, know your limits, and I'll see you guys at the bar next time on Ted's Booze Cellar. Ciao. Yeah, and if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, share and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future episodes of Ted... So...